Hey, what's going on, guys? Justin Fuller, Director of Sales for TrueSpot. Hey, so today I want to talk to you about a new feature that TrueSpot is offering. It's specifically related to reporting. Now, if you have the dashboard, you may or may not already have some reports set up, but this one's a really cool one. This one can apply to service and it can apply to recon. So let's hop in and I'll show you what it looks like. All right, so what you're looking at here is the idle vehicle report. What if you could see the vehicles in service that haven't been getting pulled into bays and haven't getting pulled out of bays, meaning they're not getting worked on. They're just sitting stagnant in your process. So what this does is I've got a toggle over here that allows me to determine the amount of hours, and I can search, right? So if I want to go to like 24 hours, I can look and see what's been sitting for 24 hours. And then I could go up to 48 hours and look at 2 days, right? And so forth and so on. So when I start getting up to, 4 and 5 days, and I see something like a list like this, I can go, hey, I can see that I've got some vehicles that have been sitting for roughly 5-6 days, and these are my service tags, tag 159, 192, 199, and 295. What's going on? Right? I can check in on those ROs. Are we waiting on a customer approval? Are we waiting on a part? What is the holdup? Why are we sitting on this RO in this vehicle? Why is it not moved out of service and moved on to the next vehicle? This is a really great way to bring visibility to those kind of issues. This same dealership also has one for some more basic items. What about a wash report? Just understand if the vehicle has been washed or not. We've generated a report for them so they can keep track of that, right? It's such a simple thing and it's tedious and it happens all the time, but what if you could tell, right? What if you could see those vehicles and make sure your retail units are getting cleaned? Here's an easy way to do it. On a third report, we have a location history report. This can be incredibly helpful. Imagine that you found a car was getting driven on and off the lot and had a bunch of miles on it. You're going, hey, I think somebody may be misusing this car. What if you could look back at the history of that vehicle and see when it left the dealership, how often it left the dealership, right? You could start to understand where it's been and how long over a certain period of time. How could you use that, right? I want to make sure, you have demo cars and loaner cars that aren't getting misused. Or maybe just something simple. Hey, a vehicle left. We just want to see when it left, who it left with, like something basic to understand. This is a great alternative report that we can set up for you. If you run a very busy service drive, inevitably cars will get stacked up in there and then the front car hasn't moved yet and it's been sitting there for 20 minutes and you can't get other cars in to get things moving through. That's exactly what these guys struggled with. They are a high volume BMW store. So we set up a way for them to get a report on any vehicle that sits on the drive with a tag in it for more than a certain amount of time. So imagine that if you're the service manager, you can immediately get an alert and it says, hey, a report pops up and you go, oh, I can see that I have 3 or 4 cars that have been sitting on the drive for a little too long. At that point, I can delegate or walk out there and go, hey, what's going on here? We need to move cars. Let's get things going. I want to provide the best customer service. I want every customer to pull up into the drive and immediately be greeted by somebody. I don't want it to be stacked up and people are out, waiting outside the drive, trying to walking up with their car parked out there. That's exactly what this report was designed to do. So if this is something you're interested in, please do reach out to me. Let's talk about your use case. Let's talk about what you may need, what would make your life easier. Whether it's in service, whether it's in sales, whether it's in recon, I'd love to hear from you. So give me a call, text, email, and let's talk about your store.